Right guys, I am at a place called Tyneham Village. This village was abandoned in the 1940s. It wasn't abandoned, it was taken under control by the military in the 1940s to be used for preparations for D-Day. It's also in the middle of a big artillery range, so you can only access this place at weekends. If you are going to come here, I would suggest, if you Google Tyneham Village access, there is a website that will just confirm that it's going to be open, because the whole area is in the middle of a military range. You can see in the distance, actually, just there, if it focuses, that's range 6, and then each part is split off into ranges. So I'm going to take you on a little bit of a tour. Let's see what we find. So firstly, the Tyneham phone box story, kiosk number 1. This was the first public telephone kiosk in the village, installed in the winter of 1929. And before this date, villagers would keep in touch with the outside world by telegram, or later by using the telephone in the back room of the post office. And we are in the middle of nowhere. It's right on the coast. I'll try and get some footage of the coast as well. But this place is very, very, very isolated, which is why it made such a good range. It's still in use now, actually. There's a military camp not far from here, an artillery base. They do all of their training. And it's quite a well kept place, so lots of information. This was number 4, the Shepherd's Cottage, home of the Upshaw family, up until 1929. They've done a really good job of maintaining the history of the place, but it's crazy to think that 100 years ago this was somebody's home. Fascinating, even. I mean, there's some solid masonry gone into building these places.
Yes. I've been there once. Self-taught school.
I think those solar panels are a new instalment, and the little wind generator. I don't know, maybe these were the lavatories. Doesn't say. See a beautiful church in the distance. Some of these rooms are so small. I mean, let me show you this. I'm 6'2". Can you get through? Was that a closed room? No.
Double bedroom. Always buffer.
This was the schoolhouse. This was the schoolhouse. How? It's so small. The village survived on farming and fishing for its livelihood. Local children taught together in this schoolroom. Okay. So today the village's children have moved out by the army, December 1943, because the area the area is used for D-Day preparations, and then later as a artillery range. World War Two, yeah. The empty buildings remain trapped in a time warp.
Where did they say where did they move on to?
I've not seen that yet, no. Oh, wow. Wow. Remember Empire Day. The 24th of
Without
May.
talking, close attention was paid to handwriting and spelling. Well, yes, those are the main things I used to do. So
Wow.
it is good.
Thank you. It's giving me a chill. Don't know why it feels quite unsettling. I mean, obviously they all didn't pass away. They were moved to somebody else, but to somewhere else. You know, this was a village. The culture, the history. I mean, fortunately they've been able to capture the history, but just gone. Because the area was needed to prepare for D-Day. The Rectory Cottages, a very ancient building, filled the west side of the yard. I remember them as separate cottages. There's so many photos. I wonder if there's any dates on these graves. I'm always very, very respectful when walking through cemeteries. I hate the thought of walking somewhere that I shouldn't. Okay, there's one here that looks... Harriet Louisa. Gosh, I'm going to get emotional. Died age 41. It's my birthday today and I'm 41. Wow. Died age 44. 1903. Look at these old, broken graves. This one just says resting. Died May the 10th, 1880 something. Jeez, aged 11. So there's more buildings over that way. I mean, in a way, the village being cleared has given these people a legacy that I'm sure will go on forever. One that they're totally unaware of. Okay, let's have a look in the church. I wonder what they are. I almost stood on them. Tank Regiment, Queen's Dragoon Guards. What's that, the timeline of the village?
Yeah, it's the original one was 700 years ago.
Sorry.
That's right.
I never knew that. 1348, the Black Death entered Britain via Weymouth in 1348. Within 18 months, half the population of Britain had died.
How much?
Half the population. Post office and general store. This village was, well, the church, original church, was built at the same time as spectacles being created. It says here precisely why they evacuated. During the Second World War, it became necessary for the British Army to extend its existing training area. The inhabitants of Tyneham Valley were evacuated. When they left, they pinned a note to the church door. It read, "Please treat the church and houses with care. We've given up our homes where many of us have lived for generations to help win the war. We will return one day, and thank you for treating the village kindly." I don't know whether it's because it's my birthday or it's also Remembrance Sunday, but feeling quite emotional by all this. It's interesting. Right, so this is the back end of the village. There's a rectory through there, but it's marked off as dangerous. And there's another building in the distance there, which again is dangerous, you can't gain access to. What we're going to do now is follow this route all the way up there into the distance and then all the way along this ridge line. And we should, I believe, be able to get some fantastic views, but also we should get views of the artillery ranges, which I think will be quite good because they'll give a bit of context into just how much land the artillery needs to conduct their weapons testing. So you can't really see, that's a beautiful view, that bit. You can just see in the distance the ocean. It's drizzling a little bit, but for November the 10th it's pretty clear. So we're going to go on this hike. Oh my gosh, the view is incredible. Let me apologies, it was a bit dark in the church, so some of the footage might not be too clear. Hopefully the feeling of the history sort of came across. So, right, let's get walking. This was a bad idea. I'm far too heavy to be walking up slopes like these. So either side of this path you've got signs: military firing range, keep out, danger, do not touch any military devices or ordnance that you might see. I'll tell you what though, hell of a view. I forgot to say actually, the car park, there's a voluntary charge of £4, which is very, very reasonable. And you know, given the history of this place, I think £4 is really nominal charge for the upkeep that goes into keeping those buildings safe to access. And yeah, I should also add as well, it's only open on weekends. Access is only open on weekends because this is a working military area. So Monday to Friday the artillery are doing artillery things in the area. There is a website. If you Google Tyneham Village access, it will pop up, which tells you if the place is definitely going to be open or not, because there are some weekends where, you know, depending what they're doing, it might not be accessible. Look at this. Right. Is this path taking us all the way to the top of this? Oh no. It's taking us all the way to there, and then it's going to loop back along the ridgeline. Hope you're enjoying this video. I'm not going to be able to capture it very well. The car park's in the distance there, and then you're not going to be able to see it. In the very distance you've got range 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. This is all enormous artillery ranges. We're just about at the peak, so I'll get to capture what's on the other side. Yeah, this is where the artillery do their work. You can tell by the land. That's the way we're going. I'll be honest, guys, I'm quite scared of cows. What are they waiting for? Is that a mum? Mums get quite protective over... Are you going first, Giuliano?
We use donkeys to plough the land.
You use donkeys to plough? Okay, show us your donkey taming skills.
I'm not gonna tame them. They're more scared than even we are.
I don't know, that mum doesn't look very scared of you, mate. You stay there, girl. We're not meaning you any harm. Hello, little ones. You're a little cutie, aren't you?
Imagine having like one.
Yeah. So, Christian just spotted this. I mean, there's a little bit of a web there, but look at this. Wow. It's almost like it's been shrink wrapped. Incredible. And that's the only one that we've seen. You've got smaller webs, but nothing of that nature. So, interesting group. I've got Christian with me, who is an author. Used to be, I'll zoom in on him in the dark, used to be a philosophy teacher. Done very well for himself. Written a couple of books. If you're interested in philosophy, if you type in Christian Feast on Amazon, his books will come up. And then Giuliano, who is one of my good friends, who's a doorman. And I used to work with him down here. We had some very, very good and challenging experiences. So, in the distance, that's Portland, and it's joined by a strip of land over to Weymouth, over in the hills there.
You have tables, you have like this and and I had like, and I was sometimes I was delivering to the office, but sometimes I was delivering to the. Oh.
Right guys, we are on the way back down. It's been hard walking. Probably harder on the way down because you've got to control your body weight and it's very loose footing, but what a wonderful place. As I say, well worth the visit if you're interested in history, wartime history in particular. It's quite out of the way. So from Bournemouth, it's a 45-minute drive. But there's some good landmarks in the region you can't see, but the other side of the hills, you've got Corfe Castle. There's a Sandbanks ferry, which is quite a nice trip. Probably not in the summer though. It can take hours to get on that ferry. It's quicker and easier to drive around. I'm not sure if we're going to do it. We've discussed taking a walk down to the cove there. So if we do, there will be a bit more to come on this video. If we don't, thank you if you've made it this far, listening to me gasp out of breath. There'll be more videos to come. Okay, so we're going to walk a bit further. And the ranges that we're in the middle of is called Lulworth Ranges, which was interestingly established in 1916 following the invention of the tank. So we are there, and this whole area outlined in red is the boundary of the range. 2,830 hectares used for static and live firing practice by tanks and other armoured vehicles. So we're now the other side of the bay. I think we walked up to there somewhere. And in the distance, you can see that's range number 3, but there's 2 people up there. So they're clearly adhering to the signs of military range keep out. So we're just going to come down to the bay. It said it was 400 metres. It's probably been double that, and the flaming floor is covered in mud, which we didn't come prepared for. Again, there's people on the top of that one. You're not allowed up there, mate. What I would say is, and I don't know who those people are, obviously, but if we could find out who they were, what a cool shot that would be. What a cool shot that would be to share with them. So around this corner, we should see the bay itself. Absolutely beautiful. In the past, I've walked along that ridge line, and those cliffs there, I got on my stomach and crawled to the very edge to peek over the top, not realising how high it was, and almost passed out. Worbarrow Bay. At the time of 1901 census, this remote coastal hamlet of 7 cottages and a coastguard station was home to over 50 people Coast Guard families accounted for more than half that number. When the station closed in 1911, the population plummeted and never recovered. Based around fishing in the nearby school and church at Tyneham, life here had remained unchanged for generations. Absolutely beautiful. Breathtaking. Wow. I think this is possibly Britain at its finest. And to think people were living here and fishing, actually making a life over 100 years ago is absolutely mind-blowing. The couple who walked up the hill are coming back down. I might wait for them and ask them if they want a screenshot of what I took. Well guys, I think I'm actually going to wrap it up there. There's nothing more to see. I'm going to make way down to the bottom of the cove, catch up with them pair. But thank you for watching. I'll catch you soon. Okay guys, I lied. It's not the end yet. I'm going to go to the other side and have a glimpse. I saw these concrete pillars and figure, and this awfully muddy track. So I figure there must be something worthwhile. I'm not looking at what's in front of me at the moment. I'm just looking at the floor, trying not to slip. This could be quite a hilarious end to the video. Oh. Wow. Wow. How beautiful is that? Absolutely gorgeous.